Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's on a video game console. Sure, the lyrics aren't catchy, but they could be accurate if Burton's Kickstarter raises enough money. The Brawl Burton just can't let go. Despite the fact that Reading Rainbow ran for over 20 years, the esteemed actor just recently launched a Kickstarter to bring back the Peabody and Emmy Award-winning children's television series about books. But we can't blame him. The campaign has already been remarkably successful. As of press time, the Kickstarter has raised over 3 times its proposed $1 million, and the Kickstarter still has over a month to go. This money will help the organization provide reading software for free for 1,500 schools in need. However, stretch goals will help bring the new Reading Rainbow to unexplored territories. With $5 million, we can get to mobile, we can do Android, we can definitely do Xbox One, and we can do set-top boxes, Burton told backers in a recent video, and we can get at least 7,500 schools for free.
Butterfly in the sky.
Oh, dear God, really?
Okay, never mind.
I really don't remember anything from that. Really.
Yeah,
I
this is
remember
gonna be
Geordie LaForge telling me I should read books.
okay. This article,
fucking
this is gonna be about.
My favorite episode of Reading Rainbow was where they went to the Bridge of the Enterprise. And they showed off the Bridge of the Enterprise, and you got to see him acting as LaForge in Reading Rainbow, and they were showing how the show was made.
That's why I said. I love Geordie LaForge telling me I need to read books.
That's like all I knew from the show is that he was the
the
host.
He was
That's
my
it.
engineer.
That's
I
it.
also like the part where is he supposed to be look, this has been years. Is it Benjamin Franklin throws a lasso out to the ocean and wheels in a giant ship?
Yeah, that was the original opening.
The opening. He's flying a kite or something, then it turns into a rope, and he throws it around the mast of a ship, and he's just like, "Brah!" And he mans that crap right onto the shore.
Get out here!
Looks more like Al Oliver's travel. So
It's awesome.
But apparently this article is about bringing Reading Rainbow, more or less the app, to gaming systems like Xbox and
Eventually,
Sony.
Eventually mobile.
Yeah.
Which
well, it's kind of
I think
on
is a
mobile
good
right now.
Is it really?
The app itself is on mobile devices. They just got to work, they got to hit the $5 million mark to be able to bring it to the systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna see if we have the app.
If they're gonna play older episodes too, which I don't see why they wouldn't.
If they
as long
don't,
as they got the footage for it.
if they don't
There's
have
a lot of content out there for that.
if it's not the full episodes, it's going to be a lot of clips from the episodes.
No. I can get the Reading Rainbow music. That's about it.
Maybe it's not on Android. Maybe it's an iOS only.
That's what.
You know
But the
what?
article said Android.
You know what gets me
that wouldn't surprise me.
is that I feel like if he wanted to do it, he could get a team together that was willing to work, well, basically for free. But the show was not that complicated. In fact, if I had to take the show to something that I could say I understand it as, it was a review show for books with short reviews. Just real quick, jump in, jump out, and every now and then he'd be like, check out how this is made, or something like that. And you know what it seems reminiscent of that we have too much of today? YouTube. And I wonder if that might be part of what killed it, but if so, he could make a legitimate Reading Rainbow page and post, and just because of his name alone, he would be able to get the views and whatnot off of YouTube, and guess what? He's on Xbox, he's on the PlayStation, he's on the mobile market. YouTube is already accessible everywhere, and he could support part of the funding of the show by becoming a YouTube partner, so that it would show the commercials in front of every single one of his episodes, which would be bringing money in, which he could use. I mean, this guy, he's not small time. I mean, he's done some pretty big stuff. He's directed episodes of Star Trek. He's been a writer. He of course was in Star Trek. He's got some decent money on him, and if he just focused it properly, I guarantee you Reading Rainbow, there's a fan base out there, or at least enough older people that remember it, that would easily tune their kids into it just on YouTube alone.
And with it being on the systems, there's going to be gamers out there that do have kids.
Yeah.
Well, I would hope that some of them do have kids. Otherwise, our entire, group of people are dead other than Bill's spawn.
Yeah.
But then the parents that have the kids might remember the show.
Yeah.
Since it was over 20 years, it's been on for 20 years.
Right.
They could be like, I remember that show. Now you may watch this show.
Yeah, you can now enjoy the show that I remember watching growing up. Just a different...
And
Take on it.
Just an older
enjoy the
LeVar
awesomeness
Burton.
But what would be neat about something like a YouTube is that he could literally go after specific books.
Right.
And every single title of every episode could simply be the book they were looking at, and he could do the exact same format. It wouldn't have to change at all. He knows how the show is done. He did it for 20 years. I'm positive he knows how to get his hands on the equipment and whatnot. He could just be like, da-da-da, don't take my word for it, ba, and it goes right over to the next thing, and they record the next deal. The editing process is still exactly the same. It goes up on YouTube in like 6-7 minute segments. Episodes that post that get 40, 60,000 views that pay for themselves.
Yeah, but there's only one problem when it comes down to YouTube. If you have a specified app for something, like they actually have like a fucking Nickelodeon app on Xbox.
They got an app
So that
for
way-
everything.
Yeah, pretty much. But because it's a specified app, you have to click on it and then you can watch the stuff. That means you're only getting what's there. If you're on YouTube, guess what? Here, kitty, watch some Reading Rainbow. I'm going to go in the other room real quick and vacuum while you're not in the living room actually watching TV. Now the kid's watching cat videos, dudes jumping off of bikes and breaking their faces open.
Watching
our
Jackass.
stuff,
I'll give you that.
Jiggling boobies.
I'll give you that, but that's another thing that comes down to society is lazy enough to believe that society needs to raise society's kids. It's your job to raise your kid. If you can't vacuum and every now and then be like, "What are you watching in there?" then that's your fault. And if your kid is exposed to it, in the long run, your kid is going to be exposed to things. It's your job to make sure your kid understands that which he was exposed to anyhow.
And Bill would be damned if society raises his daughter.
That's true. I would be. Like, I get what you're saying, though. The app makes it easier. It's just like if I wanted my little girl to watch a bunch of Pokemon videos, I get the Pokemon app. But then guess what? The Pokemon app, all it's doing is streaming stuff from YouTube.
Yeah.
So it still takes me to YouTube when I click on the thing to watch something from the app. So there's no difference. It's still going to be the same thing. If he uses YouTube as the host and then uses the app to be able to stream from that host is still making money for the show. Because every time that app accesses, it accesses through YouTube, which puts a view on YouTube, which puts a penny in his pocket.
Well, but this isn't all going into his pocket. It's all going into the actual production and making more episodes.
Right, which is what I'm getting at, though, is the show will pay for itself.
Yeah. But the service itself isn't going to be a free service. It's going to be a paid monthly service.
Oh.
I think it's going to be like a $10 a month service, though.
Oh.
Wait, so you mean
like-
I would have to pay more for Reading Rainbow than I would for Netflix?
It's just $10. From what I remember hearing from the videos on the Kickstarter program, it's going to be about $10 each month.
There's a lot of
So
cheap
it's
people
more
out there.
than Netflix.
Yeah, because Netflix
Yeah, that
is,
would make it more
Netflix
expensive
is
than
what,
Netflix.
$8?
Yeah.
And it would make it more expensive than the original
And that's
Reading
just
Rainbow.
And that's just for your in-home.
Yeah.
It's going to be free for schools. I think it said on here, we can at least get 7,500 schools to show it for free.
Well, okay, so the schools get it for free, but if you want to watch it at home,
Home,
you got to
yeah.
pay $10 a month. It'd just be like having Netflix, except it's,
Asking money for it is going to kill it. That's why I still say if he just bit his tongue, put it on YouTube, and attempted the show himself, and if he got some schools to back him, he could say, "This is the official channel, And the schools could easily, every school has a computer now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every school, like that I know of, it's not that complicated to be able to take this computer that you got right here. We do it all the time for our safety drills and things like that where I work. They just plug this into the monitor. That's the end of it. So they could plug the computer into the monitor, go on YouTube, hit play, and in the morning announcements, they watch 2 Reading Rainbow things. And just because they click on the Reading Rainbow things each day, that's money going towards YouTube, which money comes back to him, which money pays for the show. And I feel like he's about to have a very rude awakening that
America's cheap.
not just that it's
Yeah,
cheap. It's one thing to be like, I don't think people are going to pay for a show they've been watching for free for 20 years.
But the world changing, and it's almost I almost feel like that to survive he would need to charge just because of how the world's turned.
He would have to charge to even survive. But what I'm saying is that with YouTube, he would charge quietly. You would have to wait the 5 seconds to be able to skip the preview, and just because that's at the start of his video, that's a penny per click, a penny per view that goes towards his show.
Right.
And there are full shows of the old series on YouTube right now.
Right. Yeah.
See? Which means as soon as he gets in there, he can instantly be like, all this needs to go. All these other people that have my episodes up, it needs to go. And he could break down the old episodes book by book, scene by scene, and be like, post a book at a time as a clip, and each clip is an episode, each clip is a penny if somebody clicks on it, and the show will pay for itself. That's 20 years of footage that he could put on a YouTube channel, upload by upload, day by day, 10, 15 episodes added every day. You could say a week, 13, you could say 20 episodes a week. This is getting ridiculous, but it's possible.
It's four
You could
like
put
Monday through Friday.
You could put 15 of them up as all old episodes. And since it's broken up, they're just clips of the old episodes one at a time, followed by 5 new items every week.
That would work.
So while he's posting the old crap, they could be working on the new crap.
Stuff.